We are watching the dismantling of America. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, the 18th of July. My God, is time flying fast when you're having fun? And just from the golf course, and of course, we are watching the dismantling of American rights and America. And if you don't believe me, well, just check some of the things that are going on. And I urge everybody to check out the Martin Niemöller poem of First They Came for the Union, the trades and the unionists, and then they came for the Jews, and they came for me, and there was nobody left to help me and speak out. And we're seeing a place where nobody is willing to speak out right now, and I think it's time that we did. But this is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, and of course, our first part of our update is sponsored by our friends at Family Farms, and of course, Family Farms are out to help farmers, which is our goal as well, and help them, let them do the farming, and let us help them hedge and take care of the capital, because, of course, that's a big part of farming and of America. Of course, you know, we do have some very big problems that are happening right now, and, you know, as we look and we see the stuff that the social media companies are doing right now, again, they're destructing your rights and my rights as the freedom of speech. And we've talked about this before, but we're seeing things that are now being made out to the public, and they did not pursue the Hunter Biden trial. They didn't want to embarrass Joe Biden before the election. I wonder if it was Trump's son, what they would have done. But also that Facebook and Twitter and others have suppressed many people from speaking freely. And do you think this is the end, or is it just the beginning? And I would say to you that it's just the beginning, okay? And this is where real Americans have to step up. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you sit on. This is going to have a much bigger effect on everybody who believes in America's freedom, okay? And if you don't believe in it, well, then you're on the other side. But if you want to remain a free country, okay, and you want to have an opportunity, if you want this to remain the land of opportunity, you know, if we continue to wait, we will be the only ones left. There'll be nobody left to help us. And I think this is something that you have to remember, okay? I mean, you know, it's interesting to watch this administration, okay, as Biden came out and said the other day that communism is a failed system, which we know, and socialism is no better, which we know. However, it appears to me that the agenda of this administration and the new left, I can't even call them the Democratic Party, I can't even give them that much saying, is for socialism, okay, and for Marxism and communism. And it's going to be a very scary thought as we go into the future. As I've said in the past, it doesn't affect me as much. I'm old. I won't be here. But it will affect my kids and my grandchildren and you and your grandchildren in the future. And if you want to continue, then again, stand mute. You won't have to worry about it, okay, because it'll get done, okay? But from the lack of people getting a job, that because they're getting too much money from the government and their universal income crap that they want to get to, okay, for all from the blocking of Twitter and Facebook to keep away free speech, to the hate mongers and the things that go on. You want to talk about racism? Racism and hatred is being created more so by this administration than any I've seen in my lifetime. Now, again, I can't go back further than that. That's all I can do is see what I've actually witnessed firsthand. And I have never seen the country so divided, okay? And where you really don't have even freedom among people you know. Because if you're on the other side of the political aisle, they don't talk to you because you have no idea, because you're stupid. Hey, look, again, this is what we got. And of course, as we've talked about here for almost a year, the digital currency that we were going to eventually get to, which I'm telling you is a mistake for us. Okay, if you want to be tracked from the time you're born to the time you die, and not have any privacy, you let this go through with the stable coin, in which Janet Yellen is talking about tomorrow. Okay, and you're going to find out that you're going to be in for a rude awakening. Okay, and your privacy will be gone completely, because when they can track you and your money, they can track everything. Okay, so if you want, again, these are all things that are coming apart at the seams, that are taking away piece by piece our freedom. Okay, and even from listening to the imbecilic Federal Reserve, who still refuses to call inflation what it is. Now, I don't know about you, but my bills have gone up dramatically. Okay, and I see what I'm paying for food and gas. Yeah, oh, I know they don't count that food and gas. Okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, however you want to count it, we are making less money in real dollars and paying more bills in real dollars. I don't care how they want to handle it. I don't care about the moron economists who talk about it. They have no clue, because they are not living in the real world. If you go back to 1913, two big things happened in 1913. The Model T came out, okay, from Henry Ford, and the Fed was born. Gee, what a cursed day that was. In the meantime, okay, 108 years later, what do we have? Cars are unbelievable. They're computer systems. They are phenomenal. Can do things you would never even have dreamed about. And yet the Fed is still working with the same model it was in 1913. What does that tell you about the scheme behind the Fed and the people behind the Fed that built it? Okay, that convinced this country to come up with a central banking system like this, where they had total control. They are no longer, I don't think they were ever really independent. I think that was a bunch of bull to start with. But at the end of the day, the design was they were independent, but they did name it the Federal Reserve to make it sound like a government agency. But in the meantime, I believe now they've become more political than ever. And of course, they do control the money. So they do have control over elections and all kinds of things. And this is not a good spot to be in. This is taking away the free market system. Don't you believe that asset prices should be discovered by price discovery and not by, interest rates are low, so housing is going to be higher. And housing, which has been exploding. Now, we don't make predictions on markets. We trade the algorithm, and we'll get in our market section. But I think it's interesting to note that lumber that was flying higher, okay, back in April, has lost 70% of its value since April. Okay, it's down from almost 1,600 down to 500 right now. Okay, and going lower. It looks like it could collapse even further. But the point is that giving us a message that these markets are done? We don't know. We don't predict. But again, these are things that everybody likes to ignore. In the meantime, with the collapsing prices of lumber, you go to the store, the prices of lumber have not come down yet, which means that the profit margins of the very big companies are going to be much higher. And of course, what we're seeing and what you see with the experience of socialism is the very wealthy love socialism because it allows them to keep what they have, okay? And it puts everybody else on a budget. It's a very disgusting model. But, we see a CPI is the highest it's been since 91. And if the Fed would actually look at it, they might actually say, maybe we really do have inflation. But, look, the bond markets continue to push a little bit higher, which is keeping rates low. Now, I think there'll be one more crack at them, but we'll see. But you've got a guy like Powell, who I thought would be a reasonable Fed chair. I thought he had common sense. I thought he was smart. But I guess is what happens when you become a Fed governor, or the Fed president, you become an innocent moron. because he lost the common sense when he was in private industry, and now just believes in feeding and printing more dollars, okay, to satisfy old debt. The old story of the perfect definition of a Ponzi scheme, okay. And of course, I did a spot the other day for RT TV, and it was talking about the Merkel and Biden's meeting about the pipeline from Russia to Germany, and Biden says he's against it, but he approved and lifted all sanctions. And of course, why would he be against it? He's benefiting, okay. And of course, he's the one who decided to get rid of all of our ability to be a net exporter of oil. One of our biggest industries, he decided to give away for nothing. Does that sound like Obama with coal? Okay, do you think that coal is ever going to stop being used in this world? If you do, you're in fantasy land. Okay, maybe you're with the Federal Reserve in Fantasy Island, because China and India are never going to stop using coal because it's the cheapest source of energy. Do you think they give a rat's ass about our environment? Okay, please, let's not. Again, that COVID was a manufactured, either a form of a profit-making scheme or a form of chemical warfare that was sent over by China. Okay, and so you think that they really care that people are talking about how bad they are with human rights? Does anybody really think they give a rat about that? I mean, they haven't cared ever. Do you think today suddenly they care because they're getting some grief? They're trying to take over the world. They want to be the reserve currency. They want to be the ones that are running the country. They love the fact of what's going on here right now, because you've got a country divided. Okay, so you think they're concerned about the words being spoken by, for example, Merkel on their rights, and yet Germany does a tremendous business. That's their number one business partner. But they haven't cut back, okay? You say what you will about President Trump, but he put his foot down, and we remained a power. We are no longer have the same power we had just 7 or 8 months ago, 9 months ago, because we are giving it up piece by piece, slowly but surely. We are dissolving all of the control of our own destiny away. Okay, and you as I said to open, you can go from your rights to free speech to every other rights that we have that we are slowly giving away. Not to mention the massive amounts of debt that they are building. Okay, and the massive amount of time wasted by all of our politicians. I don't care which side y'all here for; they're all worthless. The system needs to be redone and rebuilt. Okay, with term limits, with keeping people out from making full-time careers and stealing from Americans. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, the 18th of July, and we will take a break here and come right back with more of Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, kids, every week I talk to you about, our brokerage partners, actually every day. And look, I have many brokers. Okay, I have more than the two that I recommend. But I recommend the two I do for very good reasons, because they do the best job. They have our members' best interest at heart. And that's what I want. I want my people to be taken care of. Okay, we go through good times, we go through bad times, but at the end, I always want my membership taken care of, which is why CTG for commodities and futures are the absolute best option. They're the only ones I've authorized that sees the algorithms that I allow to do my letter of direction trading. Okay, and why? Because A, they've got great customer service. B, okay, they have great futures products, managed futures products, and C, they manage all my accounts. They trade all of my accounts, letter of direction. They do the executions for me because I trade the portfolios as well. So for my money, there's nobody like them. Now, if you want more information, again, you can trade where you want. You can get the algorithms. I mean, you can get the symbols, the signals. Okay, but you can do wherever you want. I don't care. I'm just giving you what I believe is best. And certainly, if you want more information, go to info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And for options and equities, it's trade here. It's $10 a month. I know you're wealthy, and you don't need to save the money. But I don't know. To me, if I get paid 10 versus 100, I think I'd probably pay 10. Okay, and for me personally, it's probably a 5-figure per month in savings. Okay, based on the volumes that I do. But again, whatever it is you're saving, why wouldn't you put the money in your own pocket? They've got great service. Okay, $10 a month flat, and we've got their APIs, which allows us to automate our equity portfolios at no charge. Trader doesn't charge you. We don't charge you. It's part of your membership. Okay, and if you want, you can have stuff auto executed. If you don't want to, again, you can trade anywhere you want with Trader as well. We just want to make what we believe to be the best available to you, our members, and the people that share time with me every Sunday or every day. And of course, our commodity report written by Andy Hecht. I tell you this a lot. If you're trading commodities, or you're investing, or you're in the business, and you're not reading technical, go see a doctor, go get examined, because you're out of your mind, because this report is the most comprehensive report that there is in the commodity industry, from somebody who's experienced all of the things firsthand, whether it was trading the physical commodities or the futures commodities. He was involved in all of it worldwide, nationwide, for 40 years. Okay. And of course, as I offered last week, and I will continue, if you want to see the first quarter of the quarterly reports, I will send them to you as a sample to check it out. In the meantime, don't forget about our high school program as well. And that's at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. It is patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, yours truly, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, July the 18th. And of course, we always do our market report in this part of the show. And, markets, what a week. My goodness gracious. Okay. It looks ugly out there. And the question is the fat lady singing? Okay. And again, I can't answer that. Okay. All I can answer is that we look at the markets very mechanically, and we are long the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P, and we are short the Russell, and the Russell got clobbered last week. Okay. And the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ were all slightly lower, so it wasn't good either way. But we are short the Russell. And listen, we may end up getting short everything. I don't know that this is the end. As I mentioned in the first part about lumber, if you go back to 2008, okay, winter wheat, Minneapolis winter wheat, which was interesting. Out of all the things to pick out, it went to like $22 in January of 2008. And of course, to me, I go, something's wrong, right? Well, I'm looking at lumber and I'm saying something's wrong. Now, again, I can't do anything about it because I have to wait for the price action to confirm. However, it does not look very good. Okay. So, the collapsing lumber prices could mean something, maybe it means nothing. We'll see. In the meantime, the metals, gold, silver, and platinum, we are short. Now, we don't trade platinum anymore because it's just not liquid enough. But we are still short gold and silver. We got very close to potentially reversing during the week. Now, for the week, gold was slightly higher, silver was lower, and platinum was slightly higher. But they have not been able to break above some solid resistance. So we're going to remain with our positions as they are, short. Okay. Again, we will change when it's time. Okay. And just so everybody knows, we're adding to our portfolio models the new micro crude product that just came out and micro Bitcoin. Okay. So those are liquid products that we can now trade. In the meantime, okay, copper was slightly lower for the week. Now we're short copper, but it didn't really fall apart as I thought it might. Now, it may be getting ready to do so. It may be getting ready to rally. This is going to be interesting because there's also a significant and a direct relationship between lumber and copper, right? If you're building, okay, they both come into play. But we'll see. In the meantime, we're still short. Nat gas was pretty much flat, but very high for this time of year, which is another reasoning of why you see the disadvantage of giving up control of your own energy sources, okay, over something that is wrong, okay, that is not even really correct yet, because we continue to improve our environment and have done so over the years, yet they want to take away our freedom and make us pay more, okay, and that's why natural gas is twice as expensive as it was a year ago this time. Now, we can expect coming now into, hurricane season and into getting closer to the winter, all of a sudden, it's already in the middle of July. These could be even much higher, which are going to directly affect you and your energy bills. And crude had a down week, first one in 6. Okay. But, it's still over $72 a barrel, 71 and change. I mean, it was $35 at the election. Okay. So is it worth the price that we're paying? Okay. To think that we're getting a clean environment when most of the bill they're trying to pass is to benefit the politicians and not to benefit the environment. So remember, they call it sausage making for a reason, and the criminals are at work figuring out ways to make us have less. Okay. The bonds and notes have another up week, which again, interest rates continue to try to fall. Again, one of the things we have to remember that this time of year, markets are very thin. And this time of year, markets are, subject to do things that are unexpected because of how thin they are. There's no volume, and every market has to take price discovery. So if a big group of buyers come in, and it doesn't take a big order this time of year, or a big group of sellers, markets can move faster in that direction. Okay. So I still think the bond traders will take another crack, because I think the bond markets believe that the Fed is wrong, as most people do. Okay, but nobody can step in their way, with the exception of the bond market. So I would expect to see the bond and note futures. Now, we're long them, but I would expect to see them collapse at some point. Okay, because I think that they're going to make a big run. Okay, the dollar it broke out again, and now looks like it's headed to another level. Now, there's a lot of reasons. We know that the fiat currency world is a bunch of criminals as well. That's all central bank related. Okay. And they're all manipulating down to zero because they all want to get to that point of the digital currency, because they can mask everything. But we are still long dollars. So again, take it for what it's worth. We're long dollars. All right. In the grain markets, okay, we've got an up week for corn, beans, and wheat. Okay. Now we are still short corn and wheat. Tonight we will be reversing soybeans to long. Okay. Cattle markets, okay, a lower week. Now, fat cattle or live cattle, we are short October. Feeder cattle, we are long, okay, and hogs, we are still short. Now, hogs had a nice up week, and we'll see, where it goes from here. I don't think they can go much higher, but certainly, they can, and we could reverse, okay. And in the softs, you've got cotton had a nice up week, and we're long. Coffee, we're now long, had an up week. Now, we didn't catch a lot of the long, though, so just, again, full disclosure. Sugar, up, and we're long. OJ, higher, and we're long. And cocoa was lower, and we're short. So, again, look, it was a lousy week. There's no issue. There's nothing to talk about that. I'm not going to tell you it was good when it wasn't. It wasn't. Okay, and that's part of the business. And understanding your emotional side of your trading is just as important as trading itself sometimes. And of course, we have now added the Bitcoin micro into some portfolios, or will be adding them this week. Okay, and the micro crude. But the Bitcoin itself, it continues to hover around that 30,000 level, and it's a pretty key level. If it can't get off the deck at this level here, it's probably going to 25 or lower. I'm still a believer in it. Okay, but I do know that it can be extremely volatile and extremely fast paced and move a lot. So just to be aware. Okay. And it's not all that liquid yet. That's the other problem. Other than at the CME, it is more liquid. But overall, that where you'd want to trade some of it is not. So be careful. But again, we're still fans. Okay, that hasn't changed. But also our voice is when whatever you're buying in the other exchanges, just make sure it's money you're not afraid if it goes to zero that will change your life. Okay. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to step out here for a break, and we'll be right back with more and my commentary after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. Well, everybody, as you know, I talk about brokers in my show all the time. And again, I have many brokers. I mean, I don't want to name them all, but I've got many. Okay. But I do have two that I prefer, that I do 90% of my trading with. And for futures and commodities, it's the CTG Group, Capital Trading. Why? So very simple. They've got great customer service. They help and call my members to open their accounts. They manage and watch. Okay, they're the only ones I've approved to do my letter of direction trading. They've got some great managed futures products, and they trade all my accounts. I mean, I can't give much more of an endorsement than that, but I think they do a great job. And again, I'm not shopping for dirt cheap price. I'm shopping for someone I know that's going to get my orders done on time. That is the Capital Trading Group. If you want some more information, feel free to reach out to them. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And our other great partner is Tradier for equities and options. And why? It's $10 a month. Is that not a good enough reason? $10, okay, versus whatever you're paying. And if you're trading options, you're not trading for free, okay? You're paying X, and if X is more than 10, think about it. Okay, what's it worth to you? Okay, would you rather put the money in your pocket or in a broker's pocket? In the meantime, not only the $10, not only do they have great customer service, but we also have their APIs, which allows us to automate our equity portfolios if you choose. You don't have to. You can trade anywhere you want. We don't care. We're just giving you who A, we can work with, and B, we believe does the best job. Okay, and Family Farms, I'll be speaking with them next Tuesday. Okay, I can't wait, a week from Tuesday. And I can't wait because, again, I've missed them. I haven't been able to get out because of, obviously, COVID. And I think we're going to, we're finally having their summer meeting together, and I'll get to see all the farmers and hang out. And all you farmers are going to be in Missouri for that. Meet me at the bar Monday night. We'll have some conversations. But in the meantime, I want you to be aware that they do a great job, and they've got the same interests as us, and it's Family Farms, and that is helping farmers. And our commodity report written by Andy Heck, which ties perfectly with Family Farmers because, again, it's commodities, but Andy writes about many of the commodities, some that we don't even think about. But, again, they have an effect. And if you're in the commodity space and you're not reading technimental, you need a doctor. Check it out. Go to BUBBATrading.com. And as I've offered before, if you want to see the first quarter quarterlies, I will send those to you at no cost. You can check them out. And our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and of course my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horwitz, and of course it is Sunday, July the 18th. And, as every week I give you some commentary on what I'm thinking, and here's what I'm thinking today. I opened up the show with the devastation and the stealing of our rights. And I talked about the poem that first they came for X and then they came for Y, and then there was nobody left to help me. Well, again, my issue here is very simple. Okay, I'm very distressed about what's going on with voting. Okay, I'm very distressed with what's going on. You don't need any ID, and they're willing to do all kinds of crazy things, and they're trying to get all kinds of crazy legislation passed. Now, I warn you, and this is my warning to everybody, okay? Eventually, there will be another party in power, okay? There will be something that will happen at some point. Do you want them to have the same power? The Constitution, although we don't typically follow it much anymore, okay, and we've made a lot of adjustments to it, but was written for a reason. It was to protect us from ourselves, okay? And what you have right now is you have a party trying to take over to assure themselves of power forever. Now, we know just by history and looking throughout the world of other things that have happened that doesn't work, and it never ends good. The balance of power is one of the most important things we can have, and which is why I don't like any party in full power, whether it be Republicans, Democrats, or Libertarians. I want always the checks and balances, which right now the current administration is trying to eliminate. Okay. And again, if you think I'm a wacko or crazy, well, hey, look, as I said before, it ain't going to affect me. I'll be dead. But it's going to affect anybody who's younger, and it's going to affect kids and grandchildren. And if this is what you want for them, then so be it. But if you don't, you better step up now, because it's the time to step up and be counted, because otherwise we will be in a big mess. And I can reference Venezuela. And again, you don't think it can happen? Just watch. In the meantime, everybody have a great weekend. As always, I always appreciate you tuning in to Bubba's Bottom Line. And, the British Open should be exciting this afternoon as they wind down with Louis Oosthuizen, who's one of our picks, and Jordan Spieth, who was another one. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it finishes. In the meantime, we will see you tomorrow with a Bubba's Daily Update, and have a great rest of your weekend. As always, I thank you. Bubba's Bottom Line.